Okay, so get this. We've got this article about a guy named Jack Rourke, and apparently he's like the secret spiritual guru to all these Hollywood bigwigs.
Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of wild, right?
Totally. Like, we're talking A-list celebrities dropping his name when their chakras are out of whack or whatever.
It's crazy. You'd think with all the resources these people have, they'd be like tripping over life coaches and self-help gurus.
Right. But this guy, Rourke, he's different, apparently. Like, he shuns the spotlight. The article made it sound like fame is some kind of contagious disease he's avoiding.
That's what I don't get. It's like everyone and their mother is trying to build a personal brand these days, but this guy, he's doing the opposite.
He's like a ghost, but for good vibes or something.
And the article said he even turned down a book deal, a massive one, because they wanted him to dish about his celebrity client.
Wait, seriously, how massive are we talking?
Millions of dollars. And he walked away, said it went against his principles.
Wow. Talk about willpower. Most people would be tempted, to spill the tea for that kind of money.
Right. Makes you wonder, what's he got figured out that we don't?
Seriously. Like, what's the secret? Is he teaching these celebrities how to levitate? Or maybe he's found the fountain of youth and they're keeping it under wraps.
Well, the fountain of youth might be a stretch, but the article did say something about him being really big on translating like ancient wisdom into practical advice.
Ancient wisdom. Okay, now I'm picturing levitation.
Well, whatever it is, it seems to be working. He's not just helping these celebrities navigate the pressures of fame either. He also works with a lot of therapists, calling it a practice dedicated to caring for caregivers.
Therapists for therapists. That's a new one. I'm guessing even emotional healers need a little healing sometimes.
Exactly. The article talked about how therapists are vulnerable to compassion fatigue, where they're so busy absorbing their clients' emotional burdens that they burn out.
It makes sense. You can't pour from an empty cup and all that.
Exactly. And this is where Rourke comes in. He's like the support system for the support system.
It's like a whole secret society of people trying to make the world a better place, starting with themselves. I like it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And get this, the article mentioned he's not just some self-proclaimed guru. The guy's got credentials. Like a doctorate in divinity.
A doctorate in divinity. No wonder he's got that whole ancient wisdom thing down pat. So he's like the real deal, huh? Not just some guy who took a weekend workshop and decided to start handing out life advice on Instagram.
Definitely not. And it gets even wilder. Apparently, he also worked with the FBI at some point.
The FBI? Seriously?
Right.
Okay, now I need to know more about this guy. He's like a real-life superhero or something.
Right. Talk about real-world experience. This isn't just some Hollywood guru. He's dealing with people facing real high-stakes problems.
Combining that experience with his background, and you start to get this picture of someone who really understands the human psyche, on a much deeper level.
Absolutely.
Deeper level, you said. Makes you wonder, with this whole ancient wisdom thing, what we're talking about here, like, is he giving out cryptic riddles?
Well, the article didn't get that specific.
Figures.
But knowing he has that doctorate in divinity, I'm thinking he might be drawing on spiritual traditions, stuff like ancient philosophy or mindfulness practices.
Okay, so less fortune cookie, more like deep contemplation.
Exactly. It's about connecting with something bigger than yourself, finding that inner peace. And, maybe that's part of what makes him so effective in those high-stress situations.
Yeah, like imagine having that kind of inner calm in the middle of, I don't know, a hostage negotiation or something.
Right. And that actually reminds me, the article also mentioned how he helps therapists navigate, get this, the world of influencer collaborations.
Influencers, like the ones always hawking detox tea and teeth whiteners.
The very same. It seems like every therapist and their dog is trying to partner with them these days.
I guess everyone wants to be an influencer now, right?
It's become a whole industry. But the article said these partnerships, they don't always work out so well.
What, like the influencer ends up needing therapy because they can't handle all the pressure of being like Insta-famous?
Huh, maybe. But it's more than that. See, according to Rourke, there's this fundamental difference in motivation.
Like therapists are actually trying to help people and influencers are, well, I'm not sure exactly.
Okay, think of it this way. Influencers, they're all about self-promotion, right? Building their brand, growing their audience. That's kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter. But for therapists, it's different. They're supposed to be all about helping people work through their problems, not promoting themselves.
Exactly. And that's where the clash comes in. Rourke thinks a lot of these influencers, they aren't actually equipped to help anyone other than themselves.
Well, it's not like you need a degree in empathy to become an influencer.
Sadly, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And the article said Rourke believes this is a huge problem. When he tries to get these influencers to think about, being of service, their whole influencer persona, their identity, it kind of falls apart.
So they're more concerned with maintaining their image than actually helping anyone.
It's like they've built their whole world on this foundation of needing to be seen, validated, and the moment you try to shift their focus outward, the whole thing starts to crumble.
So they're stuck, basically, trapped by their own need to be in the spotlight.
In a way, yeah. It's like they're afraid of what they might find if they actually stop and look inward.
Which I guess brings us back to Jack Rourke. He's figured out how to be successful, but on his own terms. No chasing likes or brand deals, he's just out there, quietly doing his thing.
And that's what makes him so interesting, don't you think? In a world obsessed with, being seen, being famous, he's chosen a different path.
Yeah, he's not out there shouting from the rooftops about how great he is. He lets his actions speak for themselves.
And it seems to be working. The guy's got A-list celebrities and the FBI knocking on his door. What does that tell you?
It tells me he must be doing something right. So let's bring this home. What's the takeaway here? What can we learn from a guy like Jack Rourke, besides maybe how to levitate?
Well, I'm not sure about the levitation part, but I think the biggest lesson here is authenticity. Rourke's story reminds us that true success isn't about fame or fortune. It's about staying true to yourself and your values, even when no one's watching.
It's about doing the work, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. And sometimes that means stepping out of the spotlight, getting comfortable with being a little bit uncomfortable.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The guy who avoids the spotlight ends up shining the brightest.
That's the paradox, I guess. Maybe the real secret to shining bright is to focus on helping others find their own light.
That's a pretty good takeaway, wouldn't you say? Something